Climate change is one of the most dangerous problems faced by the world today. Many scientists have dubbed it the major threat of the 21st century. The World Health Organization has estimated that climate change will probably kill 250,000 people each year between 2030 and 2050. The effects of climate change are already felt by millions, with the number of people impacted by heat waves increasing by 125 million between 2000 and 2016. Sea levels have been rising at an increasingly fast rate and continue to outpace the expectations of scientists. Google Earth lets you simulate what a 4-degree increase in temperatures would look like in major cities, and what it reveals isn't promising. Climate change impacts agriculture, delicate ecosystems, the occurrence of dangerous weather events, the safety of coastline cities, and much more. Basically, the time to act is right now. It's a big problem, and it's easy to feel like there is nothing you can do about it. But the behavior of humans has repeatedly been demonstrated to be the primary cause of this rapid warming. So, if we change our behavior, we can mitigate the danger posed to humans and the ecosystem as a whole. Let's look at the problem posed by something you can control: your diet. Agriculture, and in particular livestock, plays a huge role in contributing to global warming. Worldwide, it is projected that livestock accounts for between 14.5 and 18% of human-induced greenhouse gas emissions. That's more than the emissions of all transportation. We could get rid of all cars, trains, planes, boats, everything, and it would be comparable to the amount of benefit we would see by simply changing our diets. The problem is especially dire in developing countries. The feed given to animals in these countries isn't of a high quality, and it takes up to 10 times as much to provide for an animal's nutritional needs. In some cases, the efficiency is so bad that upwards of 1,000 kilograms of carbon is produced for every 1 kilogram of protein made. This is completely unsustainable, and the problem can't be solved by importing feed from developing countries. This is because many people in developing nations lack food security, and so higher quality feed that is imported would go to these people instead. So, we need another solution. Every form of food production produces some amount of greenhouse gas, but studies have consistently shown that adopting vegetarian and vegan diets are a fantastic way to combat climate change. It was estimated that widespread adoption of these diets could slash emissions by 63% and 70% respectively. And because climate change disproportionately impacts the poor, about 75% of the benefits produced by the reduction of these emissions will be seen in developing countries. Changing your diet can help the poorest of the poor and relieve the planet as a whole from the looming threat of climate change. Let's take a look at the United States specifically, as the average American's diet involves far more meat consumption than most other countries. Even though we enjoy one of the more efficient systems of meat production, the levels of pollution produced by this production is unsustainable and could be mitigated by selecting alternative diets. For instance, it takes 100 times more water to produce a kilogram of animal protein than it does to produce a kilogram of grain protein. Part of this is because it takes land, time, and energy to even produce the feed that it takes to sustain this livestock. Only 27% of crop calories are eaten by Americans directly. Over 67% of these calories are fed to animals. This is a horribly inefficient way to maximize the amount of food produced with these resources. 100 calories of grain fed to animals nets us only 12 calories of chicken or 3 calories of beef. This has led researchers to conclude that we have the power to increase the amount of food available by moving our resources from going to animal feed towards direct ways of feeding humans. Also, this inefficiency will surely worsen with time. Soil quality is getting worse, and a high number of pastures in the US are overgrazed. In a hungry and environmentally threatened world, this is not the way to go. I think this is worth keeping in mind when selecting the food that you choose to eat. Just to summarize the issue, the reliance of meat in our diets creates problems because the animals themselves produce greenhouse gases, the animals require way more calories of feed to raise than they actually end up producing. Vegetarian and vegan diets would likely cut emissions by well over half. Meat production is more costly and inefficient in poorer countries, and soil quality is suffering. We can't keep doing this forever, something has to change. Thanks so much for watching. Hopefully you found this video interesting. If you have any thoughts on this topic or another subject you'd like me to cover, let me know in the comments. Let's have a conversation.